Okay, right. I get that the moment's kind of been and gone where this game's concerned. This spotlight happened a few days ago. I'd love to tell you exactly how many days ago. But it's kind of been and gone. I watched it when it happened, but it was late at night, and then the next day I was just kind of like, I don't know. But I thought I'd go over the video and kind of point out some stuff about Alone in the Dark and how it could be good. Honestly, it could be good. I'm not gonna sit here and overhype it. I'm not gonna overblow it. But there's some stuff that I like and there's some stuff that I think needs ironing out personally. I haven't got a massive history with Alone in the Dark. It basically stems from the new Nightmare game that was on the PlayStation 1. I played it on Dreamcast. Um, I don't believe I played the PS2 version. But yeah, I played that game. It was pretty good. It was pretty good in an era where a lot of games were like copying Resident Evil. I know Resident Evil, Alone in the Dark, copied Alone in the Dark first. I get it. Um, it was inspired by, but Resident Evil kind of caused the boom of survival horror. I know people like to be like, they like to be like Alone in the Dark started it, or they like to say Sweet Home started it. I disagree, completely disagree. Just because something does it first doesn't mean it started it. There has to be a start, and the start was 100% Resident Evil 1, 1996. That's when it kicked off, and then we went into Resident Evil 2, and the rest's history with Silent Hill and all that other stuff. But Alone in the Dark never kind of fell out of it because New Nightmare came out, and it was a solid game of a Resident Evil clone. I know that just sounds really silly saying it for Alone in the Dark. But yeah, it was what it was. It was a good game, and then they made that horrendous remake. When did that come out? Like 2007 or something like that? 2008. I can't remember exactly when that came out, but that was awful. Like, that was such a bad game. It was like a load of random ideas that had been glued together to make it, and it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't good. Now, I'm going to kill the sound here and let the video play because I don't know how this is going to record sound wise, and I kind of don't want it overblowing my voice and you can't hear me, and there's just no point. So whenever people come on screen and they're just yapping away, I'm just going to kind of skip over them because they are like the creators of Alone in the Dark and the new director, but it's irrelevant. We don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about the game. And the 25th of October that it's coming out, the same month that Alan Wake 2 drops. I mean, I will buy both games personally, but I think you're silly trying to compete. I don't know this girl, Jodie. I'm guessing that's Coma. It can't be Coma. David Harbour, we know that guy from Stranger Things. Hopper and Welcome Addition, if you ask me. Good actor. I think he'll bring a lot to the role. The fact that they've done facial capture with him as well. It all looks good. We've got over the shoulder camera angle, exactly the way I like it. It looks good. It looks fine the way they're moving around. It doesn't look horrendous or anything. It doesn't look great either. It's just very, gets the job done. Puzzle elements, which I mean, I know a lot of people do. Atmosphere's thick. This is what we like, right? As survival horror hounds, this is what we like. Then you've got the random enemies that kind of look like a molded from RE7. It did. These interactions, if you could hear them, are very weird, if you will. Obviously, that's the writer game director, so we're just going to skip ahead and avoid him talking because it's irrelevant. But this is what I mean. I'm not sure what this game's going for. Like I said, I never played the original, but this seems like it feels like an interactive detective game, something like Until Dawn meets Sinking Sea. That's what it feels like. I mean, that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like, your stereotypical over the shoulder action horror title. Sure, there's action in there. It looks like you can fight, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like that type of game. It looks different, which I'm all for personally. I'm all for different. I don't always want to play the same kind of game. Obviously, there's Harbour talking about doing whatever he's doing for the role. Now, some scenes look really good. Harbour looks like they've took a lot of time making sure he looks good and the animations are nice and whatnot. Um, but some characters just don't look right. Like, look at the detail in Edward Carnby's character model. And then you look at some of the other characters and it's just kind of like, what are we doing? Like this guy here, he doesn't look too bad, I guess. He's not really the culprit we're looking for. But there is another character in this trailer that you just, I don't know, he just doesn't look as good as everybody else. He doesn't. But I'm getting a lot of like interactive movie vibes from this game with slight combat puzzle elements. But the rest is just going to be walking around the mansion and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. The atmosphere looks good. Like I said, the visuals are okay. The animations could definitely use some work. I'm not exactly sure when the combat comes into this trailer, but there's a bit where it shows the combat, and it's definitely an improvement from when they first revealed it, but it's still not great. I just want that clear. It's still not great. Um, could it be ironed out before October? I doubt it. I genuinely doubt it. I think if you're going into this game, you've got to understand. Number one, it's not going to be 70. I've looked at the price already. It's 50 for me. It's cheaper technically if I pre-order it, and I will be. 100% I will be. But so it's not full price. If you go into it expecting double A instead of triple A, I know people like to blow this whole like thing. Obviously, that's the guy who originally made Alone in the Dark on it. Obviously, you can see these visuals. And I'm not sure if I could ever go back and play this, you know. Like, part of me wants to, because it's like I love the genre so much, I kind of want to go back and try that out. I just don't know if I've got the patience for it anymore. Maybe one day I will. But if it was to skip over this, I'd love to get to the combat. If the combat would, like, show itself on screen so I can go over this. Like I said, maybe it's not the focus, so when you do it... Right, there's combat in Sinking City. If any of you have played that game, the combat is irrelevant to the game. It really is. It's in the game. But that game is atmosphere, storytelling, and investigating first. If you want combat in that game, you're going to hate that game. And originally, when I first played that game, I could not stand it. I thought it was a terrible game. Because I went in expecting to shoot monsters. But when I went in the second time and expected to investigate, soak in the atmosphere, take in the storytelling, really pay attention to the way the characters are taught. Honestly, I really enjoyed Sinking City. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good. This is the little demo thing that have come out. I've already played through this. It's like 4 minutes long. I'm not even exaggerating there. You literally walk down these stairs and put the letter on a desk, and then a monster comes out and attacks her. That's it. Here, give you spoilers, but it's. I don't know what that's supposed to do, honestly. That doesn't hype me in any way, shape, or form. Here we go. This is what we want to look at. Right. Let's go back a little bit. Like I said, this is not necessarily the focus of the game, but it is sort of, you know what I mean? It's like it's there. We've got to judge it. We can't just ignore it, just like I judged it in Sinking City. But this time when I go into this, I can, because I've had that experience with Sinking City. I kind of go, right, this isn't the focus of the game. Let it go, kind of thing. Um, the monster designs are very, I don't know, they're not really working for me, if you will. They're not. When you're shooting, it looks okay. It does. But melee attacks look really. I don't know, there's no impact, man. The animations look weak. I'd imagine the sound's pretty bad, but obviously I'm not going to play the sound here. But you see, like, that impact there, that was so double A, it's insane. Look at that, man. Oh, man. It doesn't look horrible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that looks absolutely awful. But look at that monster that ran up and just stood in front. The way she dodges and spins around and it's just like she's swinging it and there's no weight behind it. It just looks there's just no impact, man. Things aren't reacting properly. I don't know. It doesn't look right. It doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's the worst thing I've ever seen or anything. Because it's not. I've seen way worse. Sinking City was way worse than this. But it's like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, that could look way better. But like I said, it's probably not the focus. So everybody else, you shouldn't be looking at this going, oh man, that looks terrible. What the fuck is this game? Like, I'll just go play Resident Evil 4. Like, look at the graphics. They look pretty good, didn't they? It's just not that. I don't think it's gonna be that type of game. I don't. I think you're gonna have atmosphere. Um, Honestly, I think it really is gonna be like a survival horror title. I don't know how much of it's like backtracking and item management and stuff like that, but I genuinely think it's going to be a survival horror title. And if you want to know, I don't think every horror game is a survival horror game. I don't. There's levels to this, and some games just don't do it. Some people think Resident Evil 4 is a survival horror game, and it's like, it's not. It never was, and it never will be. But this, I mean, why wouldn't it be? Looks that way, right? But yeah, that's just my general thoughts on this game. Like, I'm not super hyped by it or anything. I definitely want to play it. I look forward to it being different. But this is not going to set the world on fire. It's not. Definitely will buy it day one. Because, one, it's a horror title. And two, it looks decent enough. I like some AA games. Doesn't have to be AAA all the time. I like some indie stuff. I know this is not independent, but you know you get my point. It looks fine, man. It really does. It doesn't look horrendous. This could be a return to form, and it could really put Alone in the Dark back out there at least. It's definitely not going to win any awards. It's not going to set the world on fire. It's not going to be like, oh my god, Alone in the Dark's better than Resident Evil now. I highly doubt you're going to see many people saying that. It's not going to knock the top dog off its pedestal, but to put Alone in the Dark out there where it belongs, because you might, like I said, it might not have started this genre. I refuse to call it the start of the genre. But it definitely caused the start of the genre, the boom of survival horror, if you will. It needs to be respected. So it's like the title should come back, and it looks decent. It really does look decent. It doesn't look amazing. I'm gonna sit here and say it's amazing, but who knows? We might be pleasantly surprised by this by the time it comes out. Hopefully it delivers. But yeah, what do you guys think about Alone in the Dark? Are you going to be even getting it? Do you care? Are you fans of the original? Should I go back and play those originals? Do I not know what I'm talking about? I don't know, man. They look super dated now. They do. I don't know. Some people will be like, well, Resident Evil 96 looked dated. Shut your fucking mouth. That game's a damn masterpiece. I love me some Resident Evil 96. That's right, the original, not the remake. But that's because I played it back in the day when I was a kid, man. I'm definitely not going to give Resident Evil 96 to my son and be like, play this, son, enjoy. Because he'd just be like, what the fuck's this shit? I mean, maybe he'll try it, but like, look at this shit, man. I don't know, man. It's definitely going back a bit, fuck me. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely try it. Let me know what you think about Alone in the Dark, if you even care at this point. Alright, people, that's all I got. I'll catch you later.